Jai Shri Ram, the Erudite Series 3.1. No less incendiary amongst the populace than many other hot button issues of the day, fracking or hydraulic fracturing of the Earth's surface to acquire gas, a practice that mostly takes place in remote parts of the country, has been curiously absent from the national dialogue come election time. Perhaps because voters are typically, usually, dash environmental problems that do not occur in their own backyards, so to speak. Now, so to speak means metaphorically, in an implied sense. So, no less incendiary. Incendiary means anything that causes fires, an incendiary device, or anything that will explode, like a bomb, an incendiary bomb, anything containing chemicals that produce intensely hot fire and explode. Incendiary speeches. Incendiary speech means something inflammatory, arousing strong emotions and conflicts. So, incendiary speeches are given usually by demagogues or what you call rabble rousers. Demagogue. Demagogue means a rabble rouser. Rabble means common people. Rouse means to provoke. So, false leader who causes riots by giving deadly speeches, incendiary speeches, inflammatory, right? Inflammatory basically means arousing passion or strong emotion, especially anger, belligerence, desire, and all that. So, inflammatory, of course, inflammatory means inflammation. That means swelling, inflammatory arthritis, inflammatory cells, and all that. But inflammatory has another meaning. We are talking about that, arousing passion or strong emotion and belligerence in people. So incendiary speeches are those which are dangerous. People get angry and their leader will cause riots with this. Okay, incendiary can also mean mana pickles, mana pachallu, very hot with a real sting. Guddukaram, incendiary guddukaram. So burning sensation in the mouth, very hot. So that's incendiary. Now let's look at the words below. Disenfranchised. Disenfranchised means stripped of all citizenship rights. Enfranchised means to give the right to vote. Suffrage, suffrage. Disenfranchised means take away the right to vote and treat that person no longer as a citizen. Stripped of all citizenship rights. All civil rights have been taken away. Smitten with. Now, smitten with can mean quite a few things. Smitten is actually past participle of smite. So, smitten with can mean afflicted or smitten with polio, smitten with smitten by leprosy. Smitten means afflicted, suffering, attacked by some deadly disease or disastrous effect. Smitten also means impressed favorably, enamored, foolishly in love, infatuated. Example: he was smitten by her charms. To smitten also means deliver a blow, striking hard, strike or hit hard with a hand or a stick or some weapon. So he was smitten. The old man had smitten the burglar with his walking stick. So strike a blow, be infatuated, enamored, or be afflicted or attacked with some deadly disease or in a very disastrous way. So, no less incendiary. mm, Absent from the national dialogue from election time, perhaps because voters are typically, usually, voters are not bothered. That's what he's trying to tell us. Unless the problem occurs in their backyard, they don't bother about it. And therefore, this important thing is not coming up at all. So, let us see. I think unmoved by. They are unmoved by environmental problems that do not occur in their own backwards. So if something happens in our own backyards, literally, so to speak, means metaphorically, that means something in a nearby area. Only then we tend to take interest. Otherwise, if it is something far away, why should we bother? That's how voters are. So it has to be unmoved by. Let's go to the next one. Repel. Repel means arouse disgust. Repel. Opposite is attract anyway. Repel also means put away. So repel can mean drive back, repelling insects, keep away, ward off, repel an invasion, to fight against. Uh, a company trying to repel a hostile takeover, refuse to accept or submit, reject. Hmm? Your rudeness repels everyone. You see, there are some people who wake up with a scowl on their face. SCOWL. Scowl means a threatening gesture, threatening expression on the face. So their scowls, their very serious and rude expressions repel everyone, cause aversion or distaste, cause disgust actually. Oil repels water. That means it is resistant, incapable of absorbing or mixing with. Oil doesn't mix with water, so oil repels water. So behavior that repels is that which causes aversion or distaste and disgust. Exasperated, extremely irritated. Blank 2, intimidating, threatening. Diabolical, like a devil, evil. Blank 3, to snuff out, completely wipe out, crush. Extinguish, extinguish, put an end to, kill. The Nazis, Hitler and his Nazis, they snuffed out the life of many Jewish children. Extinguish, eliminate, kill, stamp, destroy. Okay, so let's see. In music, we are oddly dashed by mediocrity. Mediocrity, average. Genius, on the other hand, we see as something dash that we must ultimately dash. No clues so far. Paganini, now you got to read carefully. What are the adjectives and all that? Paganini, the 19th century violinist, who on one string could play what other violinists only dream of playing on a standard violin, was believed to be in cahoots with. Now, in cahoots with is a phrase which means having a involvement in some criminal activity. It's a negative kind of idiom. In cahoots with means in connivance or colluding. COLLUD. Collude means in conspiracy. Kutra. In cahoots with means చేతులు కలపడం ఏదో criminal activity లో. So in cahoots with is a negative idiom. The synonyms are connive, CONNIVE, collude, COLLUDE. Both the words mean conspire. Get together, join hands in with someone in a criminal activity. And Mephistopheles is a character that occurs in literature. In literature, is devil. Mephistopheles is devil. Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe. I read it long ago. Mephistopheles is the name of devil, shaitan. So this guy Paganini, I believe he could play with just one string. Other violinists with a full violin also compared with him. And this fellow was believed to be in cahoots with the devil. Indeed, many thought the violinist to be the devil himself. That Paganini in his time was persecuted. Persecute means to harass and punish unnecessarily. A synonym is witch hunt. WITCH -HUNT. The Bible is responsible for this. In the Bible is very clear. It says, "Thou shalt not bear a witch to live." That means the Bible says witches must be killed. In America, they have. You can just Google Salem witch trials. Salem is the name of a city. So the Bible is very clear. Witches must be killed. So this is how women were persecuted and they were branded as witches and they were burnt alive. So this disgusting thing is there in the Bible. That Paganini in his time was persecuted more than he was celebrated is hardly surprising. So people thought that he is a devil, and so he was harassed and hunted down or persecuted, punished unnecessarily and all that. And this is not surprising. More than he was celebrated. Okay, he was not so popular. He was harassed. Now the whole import means meaning. So the whole thing is clear. Now you got to decide. We are oddly, now let us see. So it looks like, based on the second part of the sentence, in fact the second sentence, it's a big one and we had sufficient clues there. In this sentence he is telling us that Paganini was a great violinist. He was a genius actually, virtuoso. VIRTUOSO, that word is not there. Virtuoso means a great artist. Virtuosity, maestro, MAESTRO. Maestro means a great artist. Virtuosity means great technical skill in art. Virtuoso means a great artist, an exponent. So Paganini was a great virtuoso, but he was persecuted because people thought he is so good that he must be hand in glove with the devil. So the words which will fill and give the sentence the meaning are, I think, in music we are oddly comforted by mediocrity. Because repellent, exasperated, no, exasperate means irritated extremely. We are not irritated. Somehow we seem to like mediocrity. Genius we see as something plainly diabolical. So, because devil is said, the synonym is diabolical. We see it as, though of course he is including us all by saying we, diabolical. That we must ultimately snuff out. Snuff out. So, extinguish. That's why he was being persecuted. That's it. Ultimately dismiss. No, it's not merely dismiss. They are persecuting him. So, snuff out is better. Next one. Derive, conceal, suppress. Suppress means, to forcibly put down. Blank to disingenuous, dishonest. Intractable, difficult to control. Amenable, the opposite of intractable, which means easy to control, docile. Blank 3, all words. Depict means to portray, show. So let's say, according to psychologists, that we can, from a piece of art, dash the unconscious urges of the artist, urges that remain hidden even from the artist himself, will most likely remain a or an dash issue. Since it's difficult to dash whether what exists at the unconscious level is ever manifest, means obvious, visible in the artist's life. Okay, now you got the sense of what he is saying here. So, according to psychologists, that we can from a piece of art derive. So, from after looking at the painting, you can say, "Oh, this fellow must be thinking like this. He's a mental patient. He has drawn this, or he is some psycho." So, derive. The first blank is derive. First blank is derive. Will most likely remain a dash because it's difficult to dash whether what exists at the is ever manifest. So, it will remain. It will remain. Well, now disingenuous means dishonest. Doesn't fit. So it has to be intractable. It will remain an intractable issue. That means we cannot really control or manage it, and we cannot really prove it. We can only stick to it as our theory and explanation, but it can't be. Since it's difficult to verify, it's difficult to verify what is at the unconscious level. Since it's difficult to verify whether what exists at the is ever manifest. So something might be there in the mind of that fellow, but it may not manifest. That I think is the best combination.